Hello again, and welcome to this course. This is our third video for this course. And for those who didn't watch the previous two videos, please make sure you do before continuing with me on this one. Sorry. So let me start by recapping what we have done so far. In the first lecture, we have talked about the introduction of this course. And in the second one, we've spoken about procrastination. It's how to overcome it, why people procrastinate. We also defined management and time management. And I gave you an example of the importance of having a goal. So for this lecture, I'm going to give you some tips on how to manage your time and kill procrastination. So this is our outline. I'll be talking about Piers' equation of procrastination, which is derived from his book. I will be explaining the element or the equation, and then I will be showing you the steps to maximize the equation and the steps of overcoming a procrastination. And at the end, I will be introducing two applications, Pomodoro and Forest. And in the next video, I'll be shooting it from my phone, showing you the tutorial on how to use these two applications. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, Piers, he is an author for this famous book, The Procrastination Equation. And I've read the book, and it basically talks about the equation that I've written here. Motivation equals expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. This equation, you might be asking, okay, it's about procrastination, but what does motivation have to do with it? Actually, motivation is the opposite of procrastination. And I'll be showing you, taking the mathematical approach on how do we maximize motivation. So let me first explain the elements of the equation. So motivation is defined in his book as the willingness to work, which is the exact opposite of procrastination. Procrastination is not willing to work and delegating and delaying. Motivation is willing to work. Expectancy, it is the expectations of succeeding doing a specific task. So if your expectations rises, your motivation also rises. Value is defined in his book as how much does this task give you value, or how much you enjoy the reward received from this task. So if you set for yourself a good reward, you'll enjoy doing what you're doing. And this will increase your motivation to work on the task. And impulsiveness is the tendency to get distracted by our phones, family, friends, neighbors, anything. So if this one increases, your motivation decreases because you are working on something and someone distracts you. So you don't feel like working anymore. So you have to eliminate impulsiveness. And delay is the time required to finish the task. This is how they are defined in his book. So taking the mathematical approach, to maximize motivation, we have to maximize the upper side of the equation, which is expectancy and value. So maximizing the upper part of the equation will maximize our outcome because it is directly proportional to motivation. And decreasing the downside of the equation will increase our motivation, will increase our outcome because it is inversely proportional to it. This is taking it from a mathematical perspective, and it makes sense when you take it into the theoretical part. So steps to maximize expectancy and value. So how do we maximize expectancy and how do we maximize value? And this is our goal because it improves our motivation. So as we defined expectancy at the beginning, expectancy is how much do you expect to succeed in this course or in this task. So as your expectancy increases, this will increase your motivation. So if you break down the tasks into a smaller tasks, this will increase your probability of succeeding in each task. And this is logical, completely logical. So this will increase your expectancy. So breaking down bigger tasks to smaller ones is going to increase your expectancy. And also setting the bar low. What does setting the bar low? It means that if you are aiming to finish 3 courses in one day, you're most likely not going to finish it. And if you're finishing it, you will feel like you have a brain fatigue, you don't want to study anymore. But if you set your bar low, if you said that I'll finish 1 course and you finish 3 courses in that day, you will feel motivated because you did something over what you were expecting. This increases your expectancy in the formula. And rewarding yourself. For instance, I'm going to reward myself after recording this course by playing Apex. If you want to join, please feel free. So rewarding yourself is going to increase the value, and you are going to feel more motivated on doing a task, which I'm doing right now. And also to maximize motivation, we said we have to minimize the lower part of the equation. Just my camera. So how do we minimize the lower side of the equation, which is impulsiveness and delay? So we are going to use Pomodoro and Forest. They are 2 applications. And these 2 applications are going to reduce the impulsiveness. And we defined impulsiveness as a tendency of getting distracted. So these 2 applications are going to help us to not get distracted. And we're going to minimize our distractions. Of course, when you're reading or studying, just keep your phone off and throw it away for a couple of hours maybe or minutes, and then you can view it later. Because if you're working on something and your phone is ringing by your side, most probably you're not going to focus on what you're doing. And setting an artificial deadline is going to decrease the delay, because when you set something before its time, for instance, I have a deadline tomorrow, I'm going to finish it today. This gives you more time or more room to feel free and mental free. This will decrease the delay and it will increase our motivation. So let me explain the 2 applications I'm going to use in this course for the next video. So this one is Forest. You can find it in App Store and Google Play. It is basically you are setting a time on how many minutes you want to focus on a task. And whenever you set that time, your phone is planting a tree. And if you use your phone and leave the application, your tree dies. As you guys can see in this one is a dead tree, this one is a dead tree. And by the end, you can feel the reward, which is your forest. You have a forest that you can customize. And it's a good psychological way of focusing. Plus, it shows you how many minutes you have focused, such as here, 360 minutes. I'll be showing you in the next video how to use it exactly. And the Pomodoro. Pomodoro is a technique in which you decide. Step 1 is deciding on the tasks to be done. So you bring the big task and you break it down into smaller parts. And then you set a timer of 25 minutes for each task. So for instance, task 1 is to finish the first video. So I set 25 minutes to finish it, and then I work on it until the time rings. Of course, my phone is not going to be next to me. It has to be away to minimize the impulsiveness. And I repeat this for 4 times, and I take 5 minutes break in each one. After the 4th time, I'm going to take a 15 to 30 minutes break. So this is called the Pomodoro technique. And this is how the application looks like. So I believe this is the end of our lecture. I hope you learned the formula of increasing your motivation and you're going to use it in your real life. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the tutorial on how to use the Pomodoro and the Forest application on your phones. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.